The unity of freedom has never relied on the uniformity of opinion. John F. Kennedy said this to support the narrative of individuality in unity. Yet today, we see nations divided and people clashing over race, religion, and politics. Many wonder how a group of people can continuously be expected to come together when their beliefs fundamentally contradict one another, concluding that unity in diversity is simply a paradox. But is this conclusion true? To find out, we must first ask ourselves, have we ever truly questioned the need for diversity? The first time thoughts like this crossed my mind, I was being accosted by one of my uncles due to my inability to converse in Igbo, a language in Nigeria. He had told me that I wasn't truly Igbo if I didn't know how to speak it. I was confused and taken aback. I wondered why we needed so many different languages, and a part of me even wished we could all just speak the same language, thinking it would bring about peace and less confusion. So that day, I set out on a journey to find the solution to unity in diversity. A while after, I was in a biology class learning about ecosystems. Organisms of varying nature thriving off a form of symbiotic relationship known as mutualism. They didn't just coexist, they relied on one another. The bees near the flowers, the trees near the fishes, the oceans near the fungi. It seemed like a newfound ideal for peace and the solution I had been searching desperately for. But as the lesson went on, I noticed something. The balance of an ecosystem is often based off a hierarchy. The small and the big, the weak and the strong, the prey and the predators. Even in nature, diversity doesn't constitute fairness. Power determines who thrives and who struggles. Sadly, we constantly mistake coexistence for equality, thinking diversity will magically bring about unity. But true unity isn't just presence, it's participation. And I began to see this more clearly as I met and interacted with people across cultural and linguistic backgrounds. Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Idoma, Tiv, and even beyond Nigeria. The great shift in the trajectory of my awareness of diversity happened because of them. They were true representatives of their culture, and it wasn't just because they could speak their mother tongue and I couldn't. It was how they carried their identity with pride, weaving their heritage into everything from how they spoke to how they viewed the world. And that was the first step towards unity. For such a long time, I believed there was just a simple fix to unity in diversity. But the truth is, there isn't. It takes conscious effort and detailed steps. And on learning this, I had to reflect. I thought back, and I asked myself, had I taken my identity for granted? If embracing one's culture was the first step towards unity, was my reluctance to connect to mine a step away from it? This realization stopped me in my feet, and I had to think back to the larger picture. Because if unity in diversity starts with embrace, then the next step must be to build bridges between our individual cultures. And history proves this again and again and again. Our greatest progress in science, arts, technology, and various other fields as a result of the efforts put in by people all over the world. We have explored space, developed vaccines, constructed architectural wonders, and unlocked the power of technology. We have blended traditions to create melodies that speak to members of all nations. We have redefined what we know to be achievable, all because we chose to come together. So now imagine what great things we could do when we choose to harness our diversity to its fullest potential. What if not knowing how to speak my dialect back then didn't make it harder for me to understand diversity, but easier? Because every day it reminded me that unity is never built on sameness, but on shared purpose. In that biology class, I learned that ecosystems thrive when one part contributes what another part needs. Maybe what truly connects us in our ecosystem aren't the traits we lack, but the roles we play in one another's lives. The truth is, diversity has never been a hindrance to unity, but it's our failure to understand the power it truly holds that is. Knowing all this now and thinking back to the words of my uncle, I find myself understanding his perspective, though not fully agreeing with it. By his definition, I'm not truly Igbo, but I've grown to learn that we are so much more than just one thing. I'm Igbo, yes, but I'm also shaped by the cultures beyond my own, by the languages I cannot yet speak, and by the people I have yet to meet. Rather than fixating on what sets us apart, why not focus on what binds us all under our identity as humans? Our stories, our struggles, our dreams, and our desire to be heard, seen, and understood. Isn't it so beautiful how we are so diverse, yet bound together, different, yet one? That's it. 3 simple steps to unity in diversity. Embrace, connect, and harness. So I'll ask you now, have you ever truly questioned the need for diversity? If you haven't yet, now would be a good time to do so. And I hope your journey would lead you to an answer that isn't as complex or paradoxical as we once thought. Thank you.